Welcome to Shots Fired. I'm Brad Freakin Nolen, and tonight with me I have the one and only
Nick Bell
and the legend himself,
Travis King.
We are live in Mount Airy, North Carolina to make our Week 8 picks. But first, Nick, update us on the standings.
Travis King and Brad Nolen is tied atop the leaderboard, and I am 2 games behind in last place. As of right now, I'm going through the table. And after this week, we'll be approximately halfway through the season for most teams, and some teams still hasn't had their. Some teams have had their byes, so that technically they won't be halfway until after week 9. But the ones that haven't had their byes, this will be the halfway point of the season for them. And this is the time you want to make a playoff push, late October into November. We'll see. We got a long ways to go, and there's some interesting games this week, and I have a feeling we're going to disagree on quite a few. So, Travis, you got anything to say?
No, not too much. I hate to bring it up right off the bat, but Carolina coming back from 17-0 down in the fourth quarter, I'd say is the most impressive thing from this past week. And a few other things that happened as well. Blake Bortles getting benched. Who knows what's going to happen there. And the Giants falling to 1-6, a big market team like that. 1-6, I think, for the second year in a row, by the way. 1-6, I believe, the first time in franchise history.
Can you believe Justin Tucker missed his first extra point ever?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I about forgot. Yeah, I was watching that live when it happened. I was shocked. I mean, who wouldn't be shocked? And I'd still say he's the best kicker, honestly. But yeah, it was shocking to see. But, I mean, it happens, I guess, from time to time.
What about Le'Veon Bell? Is he ever going to show up?
No.
You know what? I was thinking this today. Something tells me, it's my gut feeling, he's going to come back when the Steelers host the Panthers on Thursday Night Football here in a couple of weeks.
What makes you think that?
I don't know. That's just my gut feeling. I think that's when he's going to make his return against Carolina. It's a Thursday night game. Not too far off.
Awkward silence.
And Tampa Bay beating Cleveland on a 59-yard field goal was impressive. And Matt Ryan doing his thing again on Monday Night Football. 5-0 in his last 5 starts on Monday Night Football. Seen today on Instagram he's leading the NFL in passing yards. Not a surprise at all. And I seen today where Bilal Powell of the New York Jets has been placed on IR.
Said he might have to retire.
Yep. Some kind of bulging disc, and he's definitely going to have surgery. It may be career-ending is what I read.
Marshawn Lynch is on IR too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Carlos Hyde to the Jaguars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, what is Cleveland thinking? I don't understand that move, but I guess they have a lot of faith in Nick Chubb going forward. But
Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, Carlos Hyde had 5 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, he's been a touchdown machine. I got him in fantasy football.
Now you have a 3-horse committee in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
For touches once Fournette comes back.
Yeah. I'd say Yeldon to be the odd man out.
What'd Cleveland get out of that?
Fifth round
pick, yes. And also another trade. Eli Apple traded to the Saints yesterday.
And Amari Cooper to the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yep. I think Dallas, in my opinion, is reaching a little bit there to give up a first-round pick for Cooper, in my opinion.
Because everybody else was offering second, so they wanted to make sure they could get him.
I don't think it was a reach because Dallas really needed a receiver, and I'd say he's a proven talent. He has some problems, he has a lot of drops and whatnot, but I think Dallas made the right move. Who knows if that first-round pick they traded would have even amounted to anything, so I think it was a good move.
And I think John Gruden's lost the locker room in Oakland. He's lost the team, basically. That's a lot of drama out in Oakland right now, and these last few weeks are going to be some long weeks ahead for him.
Well, Oakland was the oldest team coming into the season, so I think Gruden saw it as he needed to rebuild because he was signed to a 10-year contract. Mm-hmm. So he was like, I'm going to restart, and maybe years 4, 5, and 6 will be his years to get a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think he's going to build around Derek Carr and go from there.
Yeah.
I don't agree with building around Derek Carr. I think he's a little gun shy. After that injury, he's not been the same.
Nope.
And that year they went to the playoffs. I think if he plays, they could have made a run at the AFC Championship.
Yep, I think that too. I said that at that time.
Just, I think they should trade him too. Go ahead and trade everybody. Rebuild. If you're going to do it all. Trade him. Get a first-round pick. I'm sure Jacksonville will take him. Blake Bortles for Derek Carr or something.
Yeah, to me would be an upgrade. I don't know if I'd say a huge upgrade. I think it'd be a little bit, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could trade Carr for one or two of those studs Jacksonville has on defense.
Yeah.
And work on building that defense.
Yeah.
But let's get into these picks. Nick, take it away.
The Thursday night football game on Fox. The Miami Dolphins versus the Houston Texans. Travis.
This is not a good matchup for Thursday night football. Houston is going to roll all over Miami at Houston. Just don't see this being much of a game. Miami's got a lot of injuries. Brock Osweiler starting for the third straight week. Then also out on offense is Kenny Stills and Albert Wilson, two of Miami's better receivers, no doubt. And that's really going to hurt Miami. And I'd still pick Houston regardless if they were playing. But now with them three being out, there's no doubt in my mind Houston should win this game. And they've won 4 in a row. They went to Jacksonville last week. People can say what they want to say, but I thought that was a pretty good win to go on the road like that and win. Of course, Blake Bortles is playing poorly right now, but still, I mean, give Houston credit. And I don't think Miami's defense for 60 minutes tomorrow night is going to be able to slow down Watson and Hopkins and Fuller. So I see this being a blowout, about like what we had on Thursday night football last week when the Broncos traveled to Arizona. I'm going to say Houston wins at home. I'm going to go 34-7, Houston.
I'm picking the Texans, too. I think they'll win pretty easy. They've won 4 in a row. I think they're going to make it 5 in a row. I think they're about to run away with that AFC South division. I think Tennessee's done for. I think Jacksonville, like I've been saying all year, I don't think they're the team they were last year. And I do see the Colts moving up in the standings. They got a pretty favorable schedule moving forward. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being number 2 in that division by the end of the year. But yeah, I'm going with the Texans in this one. Easy.
Yeah, I'm going with Houston. Miami's got Albert Wilson banged up, and who's the other one?
Kenny Stills.
No, Stills ain't banged up. All I know is Grant's going to have to play a big role for him. Said, because 2 of the receivers are banged up. It was Albert Wilson and whoever the other one is. Devontae Parker?
Maybe.
But anyway, I'm going to go with Houston. Jakeem Grant ain't going to be enough. On special teams, he's a big help. He's probably the best returner in the league, I think.
Better than Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, this year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I do think he is. He does lead the yards and kickoff return. Special teams if Miami wants a chance, they're going to have to get a special team touchdown and some good returns. But I'm going with Houston. Watson and Hopkins. It's a good dynamic duo right there. I'm going to go Houston blowing them out. That's all I got to say about that one. Moving on to another game that has to cross the pond. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, which always plays good in London. Brad.
Yeah, I don't like that the Eagles have to go across the pond for a game this year. It's a lot of traveling for them. But I do think they'll win this game. Jacksonville's just playing horrible right now. Not even their defense can help them at this point. Their quarterback situation is very suspect. So I think the Eagles, they need a big win after losing that lead against Carolina last week. They need to get some confidence in front of them. I don't know what's wrong with them blowing a lead against Tennessee and then blowing a lead against Carolina. they get up big, and I guess they just think they got it in the bag. They let off the gas, and they end up losing. So hopefully if they're up big in this one, they just put the hammer down and keep going. They got to do something. It's a shame as much talent as they have, and they can't pull together wins. But I do think they'll win this game. God, I hope so. I think they'll win 26-13.
Yeah, I like the Eagles in this game as well. I think they're going to bounce back after they blew that 17-point lead at home against Carolina last week. I just think Blake Bortles playing the way he is, and now he's got to face, in my opinion, at least on paper, a defense that's good. That isn't going to bode well at all for him. I do think Carlos Hyde's going to help out some, especially while Fournette's still on the shelf, but I just don't think Jacksonville's got enough to beat Philadelphia. And I just think Philadelphia's going to, I don't know what word to use. They're just going to come into this game and be dialed in and focused to play a complete game for 60 minutes, I'll put it that way. I don't see this actually being too much of a contest. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I'm going to go 27-10, Philadelphia.
Yeah, we'll go with Philadelphia as well. Despite the fact that Jacksonville's won the last 3 games in London, they always play good. They request them, I believe. Now they're requesting every year that they get a game in London. So I don't know why you'd want to do that.
I think they've even been in talks in years past to moving the Jaguars to London if they ever had a team.
That'd be a terrible move.
I've heard 4 games in Jacksonville and 4 games in London for their home games too.
That's stupid though.
Yep.
That's just gonna wear your team out.
Yep. That's what I would think too. That'd be a whole lot of traveling.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't want to do that.
I wouldn't either.
They renamed the team to the London Jaguars of Jacksonville. I could see it.
Oh man, that's something the Jaguars would do. Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. It's gonna be a low-scoring game, I do think. Bortles will throw a couple of interceptions. He'll lose his job this week.
Wouldn't surprise me.
They go to Cody Kessler. But I'm going to roll with Philadelphia. So everybody's got clean sweeps through the first 2 games.
Yep. That's about the way I figured it would be.
Okay, moving on to the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Travis King.
I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium this Sunday. I'll admit, these 2 teams played, I'm guessing, around a month ago. Maybe 4 weeks ago or so. Yeah. That was a Monday night game in Denver. I actually picked Denver, and I still feel like Denver should have won, but they didn't. But there's no way I'm going to pick against Kansas City at home. If they can beat them on the road, then I know good and well they can beat them at home. And I just, I see it maybe being close for maybe a half, maybe 3/4 if Denver plays out of their mind. But I just think Kansas City's too much, and Mahomes and that offense is electric. And, of course, Kareem Hunt at running back, solid. Their defense is suspect still, but I still think at home it's going to be enough to get them past Denver. And I'm going to go with Kansas City. I'm going to go 35-20, Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs too. I think they'll win it pretty significantly. Not too much trouble being at home against Denver. Denver did look good on Thursday night against the Cardinals. But I think going to Arrowhead's going to give them a wake-up call, having to stop that offense. Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce are all doing wonders for my fantasy teams. I have all 4 of those guys amongst all my teams. And I love every time they take the field, man, I'm like, they're going to put up a lot of points. And I love every minute of it. So they're going to keep it rolling this week. I say they win 33-16.
Yep, Chiefs at home. Denver played solid last week. Defense finally did something positive. But Patrick Mahomes, he just might be the next Tom Brady.
Might be.
He's He's something else. I love his voice. Y'all heard him talk?
Yeah, I've heard him.
His voice is very unique.
He sounds like that one dude on the Muppets. What's his name?
Yeah, Kermit.
Kermit, yeah.
Yeah. Going with the Chiefs. Moving on. Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. A rematch of Week 1 that ended in a tie. Brad, Nolen, will this one end in a tie?
Heck no. Steelers going to win this game easy. Coming off a bye. They're going to be rested. They're going to have their way at home against the Browns. The Browns are going through a little bit of a rough patch the last few weeks. Just had a horrible game against the Chargers 2 weeks ago, and then this past week couldn't get it done against Tampa on the road, which I didn't think they would, but I don't see them beating Pittsburgh. I think Big Ben's going to have a good day. James Conner's going to have a good day. I see them winning 31-17.
Yeah, I like the Steelers as well in this game. These two teams met back in Week 1 in Cleveland, and what was an ugly game as far as weather and just everything was concerned that day. But, yeah, I like Pittsburgh at home to get the job done, especially like Bradley said, coming off a bye, they'll be fresh. Cleveland's defense hasn't been playing too well these last few weeks. And also, I seen where I think their linebacker, Sherbert, is out, and he's pretty solid, and that's going to hurt him as well in this game. So, yeah, I like Pittsburgh fairly easy at home. I'm going to go 34-13 Pittsburgh at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Much improved team from Week 1. Roethlisberger's a little bit, he's hot, and James Conner, he did have a good game against Cleveland last time. I believe he had 180 scrimmage yards last time they played. I don't know if he'll have that many this time, but as an all-around team, Pittsburgh's much better this go-around. Yeah. And Mayfield's a little banged up. Hyde's gone. Defense is struggling just a little bit. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh winning by 2 touchdowns.
Pittsburgh's in first place in that division now. Quick question. Who do y'all see winning the AFC North?
I'm going to go with Baltimore.
I'd really have to look at both teams' schedules and dissect it. Baltimore has done one on the road in Pittsburgh. I'm actually going to call it now. I think Baltimore's going to sweep Pittsburgh. I don't see Pittsburgh going into Baltimore and winning whenever they play later on down the road.
Every time they play, it's a good game.
That's tough. Despite the fact I'm picking Baltimore to sweep Pittsburgh, I'm going to say Pittsburgh, but I'm going to look at their schedules here in a few minutes, and then I'll come back and make a decision. But for now, at the moment, I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Yeah, I think the Steelers will too. They have probably the best offense in that division, and their defense is leading the NFL in sacks, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd say overall they're the more complete team, slightly better than Baltimore.
So Baltimore for me, Pittsburgh for y'all. That's crazy.
All right, what's next?
The Washington Redskins versus the New York Giants. Travis.
I'm actually going to go with the New York Football Giants in this game at home at MetLife Stadium Sunday afternoon. I know probably a lot of people ain't going to agree with that based on the way things are going for them this year, but I just think at home they're going to find a way to get their second win of the season. Despite the fact I heard today on Skip and Shannon, I think it was, that Washington is on defense. They're third in the league at stopping the run, but I still think Barkley's a special enough player. I still think he's going to get his yards. And oh yeah, not to mention Odell and Josh Norman to be squaring off. That'll be interesting as always. Good entertainment. But yeah, I do like the Giants. Washington just barely squeaked by the Cowboys at home last Sunday. So Yeah, I like the Giants, though. I think it's going to be close, though. I'm going to go 23-20 Giants on a late field goal.
And I'm going to pick the Redskins in this one. The way the Giants have been making trades this week, trading Eli Apple, and then they traded Snacks Harrison to Detroit, it makes me wonder if they're already looking forward to next year, just rebuilding. They probably think we don't have any hope this year with Eli Manning as our quarterback. Maybe they're looking ahead to drafting a quarterback and just taking it easy the rest of the year. Who knows? But I think Washington's a solid team. Alex Smith doesn't turn the ball over. Eli Manning does turn the ball over. I think that'll be the difference. I think Washington wins this one 23-16. And I think Josh Norman's going to get in Odell Beckham's head. Odell Beckham's very fragile mentally. It doesn't take much to set him off. So I think that'll play into the game plan for Washington. So I like the Redskins.
Yeah, I like the Redskins too. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. It's going to be close, division game. But also the Giants have still got so much talent on that offense that I think they could stay in plenty of games, like Odell Beckham Jr. and Saquon Barkley. The number 2 receiver for the Giants, Sterling Shepard, is pretty good too. I mean, last year he had a great rookie season.
Yeah.
And don't forget they're missing their tight end, Evan Ingram.
No, he was there Monday night.
Well, he led the league last year in touchdowns for tight ends.
Yeah.
I think he got what, 10 or 11 touchdowns?
Yeah, as a rookie, too. He looked good last year. This year, injuries have plagued him, but
Maybe that's what's hurting Eli Manning.
could be. Needs a security blanket.
Eli Manning. So, I'm thinking I'm not taking Eli Manning, no. Redskins all the way. So, me and Brad picked the Redskins.
I'm on the
Trav,
Giants.
Trav's the odd man out.
All right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
I like the Bengals in this game at home. I actually do think this is going to be a pretty good game, but I just think the Bengals are going to be a little too much, and it's going to be in Cincinnati. Might be a little chilly that day. I think that may hurt Tampa Bay some. But I think Andy Dalton's going to have a big day throwing the ball. I think they're going to go pass heavy because Tampa's defense is horrible against the pass. So look for Dalton to have a big day along with A.J. Green and John Ross, Tyler Boyd, all them guys. And on the flip side, I do think Tampa's offense is going to do pretty good. Cincinnati's defense is suspect. They've been gashed the past 2 weeks. Of course, they have played Pittsburgh and then Kansas City. So, I mean, it's not like they've played horrible offenses, but still. But I do like Cincinnati, though, at home. I'm going to go with Cincinnati in this game, 31-23.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be a shootout. I think both offenses are going to put up a lot of points. And I'm going to take the Bengals at home. I do think, though, the Bucs have a really good offense, despite the fact their defense is probably the worst in the NFL, one of the worst. I think Jameis Winston will keep them in this game, but in the end, I like the Red Rifle, and I think Bengals win 37-30.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals. Tampa Bay's rush defense is really good, and the pass defense is terrible, so I expect Andy Dalton to exploit the suspect passing defense. I mean, A.J. Green probably have a big day. I mean, A.J. Green's an X factor.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay will put up points. Bengals defense isn't as good as I thought they would be this year.
Nope.
But I think Tampa Bay will put up points. I expect this game to be anywhere from both teams will get 25 to 35 points, if I had to guess. So, but I'm going to go with Cincinnati winning a close one.
Another thing to remember, too, is Tampa Bay lost 2 of their linebackers to torn ACLs for the season. So that defense is going to be...
Quan Alexander.
Yeah, getting even worse. So.
Man.
He's actually a pretty good linebacker. I'd say top 10.
So it just keeps getting worse for the defense. But
Well, the New York Jets versus the Chicago Bears. Brad Nolen.
I like the Bears at home pretty easily. They almost pulled it out against New England last week. It's a good game. Came down to a guy getting stopped at the 1-yard line on that Hail Mary. But I think they'll win this game pretty easily. Chicago's offense is fun to watch, explosive. And, of course, their defense is great. I mean, it wasn't against New England, but most defenses aren't great against New England. But I think they're going to win by, I'm going to say 20 points. I'm going to say 35-14.
Yeah, I like the Bears in this game and this game as well at home. Like I said last week, going back to it, that New England-Chicago game should have been the Sunday night game. I knew that Chiefs and Bengals was going to be a blowout. NFL missed that one, but oh well. And plus, I want to say I did pick New England. We all picked New England, but Chicago, really, if you think about it, should have won that game. Because they gave up a return, 99 yards on a kickoff return.
Gave up a block punt.
Yeah, that's 14 points right there. So, I mean, just think if those things didn't happen, they could have won. But they didn't. So, anyhow, I do like them this week at home to bounce back against the Jets. The Jets are somewhat limping in to Chicago. Bible Powell, hate that for him. I wish him nothing but the best. Hope he's all right and hope his career isn't over. But, Sam Darnold, he's in for a tough test against Khalil Mack and that defense this week. Perhaps his toughest test of the season. I'd have to go back and really look at the schedule and dissect it, but it's definitely a tough test. Soldier Field's a tough place to play. But, I like Chicago. I think Trubisky's going to be a good game manager in this game, and Howard and Tariq Cohen, they're going to get it going. And I made a good call, I have to say, in fantasy last week by putting Tariq Cohen in my lineup against New England because I knew they'd be throwing a lot out of the backfield to their running back.
Speaking of good calls in fantasy, dealing with the Bears, last week I started Mitch Trubisky in 4 of my 6 teams. 4 of my 6 teams I started him, and a few of them I picked him over Jameis Winston, who all the analysts was saying was going to have a top 5 day, and they had Trubisky in like 15th. I'm like, are you kidding me? Good thing I did. He outscored him by 12 points, I believe. So, anyway.
That just made me think of another good call, too, I made. I picked up Trey Burton off the waiver wire last week and put him in at tight end, and he had a heck of a game, too.
Pretty sure I dropped him in that league.
But, anyhow, I think he might have been the leading tight end in all of fantasy last week. I think I seen on Instagram today. But anyhow, going back to the game, I like Chicago. This is one of those games I could sort of feel being sneaky good.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Sneaky good.
I do like Chicago at home. I'm going to go 34-17 Chicago.
Travis took the words right out of my mouth. I already had it in mind, but I said this is going to be sneaky good. I think it's an interesting quarterback matchup. Darnold versus Trubisky. I think it's going to be a close game. But in the end, I'm going to go Khalil Mack's going to be too much. So I'm going to go with the Bears, especially at home at Soldier Field. Going with the Bears, all 3 of us. Okay, moving on to the Baltimore Ravens versus the Carolina Panthers. Brad Nolen.
I'm taking the Ravens on the road in this one. I think their defense is going to be too much for Cam Newton. The difference in Philly and Baltimore is that Baltimore's secondary is actually playing well. And I don't think Cam's going to be able to handle that defense. Even if they are at home, I still like Baltimore. Carolina did have a good win last week. I'll give them props coming all the way back. I thought it was over. I really did. I was looking forward to next week. I guess the Eagles were too. But I'll give them props. It was a good win. But I don't see them winning this week. I like Baltimore 26-16.
And I like Carolina in this game at home, especially after Cam Newton come out today and said he's excited to be playing back at home this Sunday. First time they've been at home in a few weeks. there's no way I could see Joe Flacco going into Charlotte and outdoing Cam Newton, too, on top of that. So, yeah, I like Carolina. I hope Carolina's defensive coordinator starts calling better plays, I'm going to say. Because I feel like on paper, Carolina's got a really good defense. At times he makes questionable calls. But I just think Carolina's going to find a way. I told several people after the way they won that game in Philadelphia last week, I could see this team going on a big win streak. And I think they're going to get the better Baltimore Sunday at Bank of America Stadium. But then also in the back of my mind, too, where Justin Tucker missed that extra point, I could see him going off and kicking 4 or 5 field goals to win this game. But that's just me throwing that out there. Because I guarantee he's been putting in all kinds of extra practice this week since that happened.
He's got an angry leg. He's about to kick all over the place.
But despite that, I still like Carolina. Just as long as Eric Washington can get his head together and start calling good plays on defense, I think they're going to be all right. And I hate to say this, but I want to throw this out there. A lot of people probably don't know, but for the first time in a long time, I gave up on the Panthers last week. My friend, Nate Gerber, shout out to Nate Gerber, by the way. Worked with him at Chick-fil-A, fine young man. He invited me to go play kickball last week for our company outing, more or less. And I was hesitant to go, although I knew I'd probably have a good time, but I just like in the back of my head, as much as I love football, I hate to give it up, you know, because it's not like baseball or basketball. We don't get to see it that long out of the year if you think about it. But anyhow, and Bradley can test this. When Philly was up 10-0, they was going down the field on that drive before they made it 17-0. I told Bradley I was leaving to go play a kickball if they scored a touchdown, and I did. Went up 17-0, I left. Didn't set the recorder. I thought it was game over. I was honestly expecting Philly may win by 30 points when I left the house. I really was thinking that. You go down there and I play a kickball. We get done. Nate gets on his phone to look at all the scores and stuff. And all of a sudden he tells me Carolina won. I thought the man was pulling my leg. I said, man, you ain't got to tell me that. I thought I done know they lost. And then he said, no, and he showed me his phone, and I seen the score. And my heart dropped, and I just, disbelief, I couldn't believe it. And luckily, I was able to go on YouTube Monday evening when I got home from work, and I went back and I watched the whole fourth quarter on YouTube. But just can't believe it. I don't think I've ever walked out on a game like that. But I did Sunday, and then look what happened. Just crazy. But yeah, going back to the game, I'm going to go with Carolina. For my score prediction, I'm going to go 20-14 Carolina.
I'm going with Carolina. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Baltimore lost a heartbreaker last week, so I think they'll be out to get them. But I don't know. I just like the matchup. I think it's really equal. I think this is a toss-up, but I'm going to go with Carolina at home. Where Carolina was at home, that gave me the edge, I thought. So that's what I'm going with. Moving on. The Seahawks versus the Lions, Travis.
Seems like I picked them a lot this year, but I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions at Ford Field Sunday. Not knocking your team. I don't exactly see this being too much of a contest, but I could be wrong, though. I just don't think Seattle's defense is going to be able to stop Stafford, and I feel like I say this a lot, Stafford and Galladay, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, and now you got to throw in that rookie running back, Johnson. I just don't think they're going to be able to stop them, especially at Detroit. Now, Seattle is coming off a bye, I will say that, but still, I just don't think they're going to be able to stop them. If Seattle is going to win this game, they're going to have to run the ball well, which, I think they're capable of doing. I think Russell Wilson's a heck of a player. I have a lot of respect for him, as I've said before. But Detroit is pretty good against the pass. I think they are. Did I say that right? I think they're good against the pass, and I think they're bad against the run, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, I ain't saying he can't get the job done because he is Russell Wilson, but I just think it's going to be tough. And I like Detroit, and I'm going to go, I think Detroit's going to put up a lot of points. I'm going to say 37-17 Detroit.
You know, Seattle was allowed the second least points by any defense in the NFL this year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Washington's number 1. Seattle's pass defense is ranked 7th in the NFL right now.
Well, I did not know that. It's a good stat, I'll say.
The rush defense is about 20th, but still doing decent. He's comparing this year's defense to last year's defense, and it's similar. It's not much off. So losing Sherman didn't hurt, and losing Chancellor and all that didn't hurt. They're getting old. It's time to rebuild. But I'm gonna go Seattle. Chris Carson gonna have a 100-yard rushing game. I think we found a stud at running back right there. And Wilson's gonna give us about 3 touchdown passes. So what do you got, Brad?
Yeah, unlike Travis, I think this is going to be a really, really close game. I had a hard time picking this one. I think it's going to be one of the better games of the week. But I'm going with Detroit at home. Obviously, if it was in Seattle, I'd definitely pick the Seahawks. But I had a really tough time thinking on this one. But I think just being at home is going to help Detroit out. They've played really good at home this year despite, except for the Week 1 blowout against the Jets. Detroit's look really good at home. They got a lot of weapons. I think it's going to be a 26-23 win for Detroit.
Interesting. Gosh, that's that's 2 games me and Travis has disagreed on.
Yeah.
And 1 game for me and Brad. Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts versus the Oakland Raiders. Brad.
I like the Colts going on the road in this one, getting the win. Oakland trading away Cooper, and then Marshawn Lynch going on IR. They really don't have much on offense as far as weapons go. And on the other side, the Colts' offense is very explosive. Andrew Luck's having a heck of a year, despite the fact he doesn't have much help around him. He's just one of a kind player in the NFL, and I see the Colts going on a roll the next few weeks. They got 3 home games after this game at Oakland, and it's pretty sure it's against subpar teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts win 3 or 4 games in a row, and this is going to be a win for them. I say it's going to be a blowout as well. I say it's going to be 34-13.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts too. Oakland don't have much. It's just sad. Oakland hasn't. I mean, they waited since 2002 to 2016. And they thought their future was bright. That year they made the playoffs, and then they fell off right again. I just don't know. Going with the Colts. Travis.
Yeah, I like the Colts as well. Oakland's just got a lot of issues, a lot of drama. Bradley summed it up pretty well. Lynch on IR. They traded Cooper this week. A lot of players, I think, are upset about them trading Cooper coming out of the bye week, because I think they were told they wasn't going to trade him, and then they traded him. I guess that's why they're upset. And I heard today, too, I think it was on Skip and Shannon, that some of the players are having issues with Derek Carr, and they're questioning his toughness and stuff now, and just a lot of drama. And the Colts, I mean, yeah, they may be 2-5, but I don't feel like that team's had too much drama, in my opinion. And Andrew Luck, he's a heck of a quarterback. I don't even know if I want to say underrated. I don't say he could be as good as he is. He's solid as they come. But yeah, they're going to put up some points. I'm going to go 37-23 Colts.
I think Oakland's looking forward to rebuilding in Las Vegas. They're just looking forward to that. I think they're thinking if we suck these last couple years in Oakland, then they won't have much to miss, you know. So they're like, let's just look forward to Las Vegas. When they get to Las Vegas, they're going to be good again.
Moving on, Brad. San Francisco 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals.
Another game I had a tough time deciding on. Not because, of course, not because they're good teams, because how bad they are. I had to pick the better of the two evils. But I'm going to go with Arizona because they're at home. And they did go into San Francisco and get their only win of the season. So what makes me think they're not going to win at home against them? Not to mention San Francisco's collecting all these injuries as they go along throughout the year. I think Matt Breida is questionable for this game, so he's about the only good player they have left besides George Kittle. So if he doesn't play, for sure Arizona's going to win. But I like Arizona in a close one, an ugly game. I'm going to go 23-20.
Yeah, I like Arizona as well in this game. I picked them anyhow, and they went to San Fran on the road to win, and they won. And I'm definitely going to pick them here. And I do think this will be an ugly game. I think I said that too the first time around when they met a few weeks ago. But Arizona does have some drama, I will say, with Patrick Peterson, no doubt. But I mean, they do only have one win, so that was, of course, against the Niners. And I ain't really a whole lot to say about this game. It's two bad teams, and at this point in the year, they're both out of it, basically. But nonetheless, still got to play the game, though. And I'm going to go with Arizona. It's going to be an ugly game. I'm going to go 2017 Arizona.
Well, guys, I'm going with the 49ers. I think that the 49ers, they showed me something the last couple of weeks. They've played tough. I mean, they played Green Bay tough. They played the Rams. That game was close till halftime.
Yeah, it was. That's true.
I just like their toughness and the way Arizona played last week against Denver. Shoo. I think this is a good game to pick an upset in. Plus, the Cardinals, it's a division. So usually when division matchups happen, most of the time, if it's two good teams, or two teams equal, they split.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cardinals won last time. So I'm going with the Niners this time.
I could see it. I had a really tough time on this game. I could see either one of them winning. They're both just so equally bad.
Yeah.
Maybe the two worst teams in football.
Yeah, you could argue it. 49ers definitely wouldn't be there if Garoppolo hadn't went down.
Oh, no, they'd be a playoff team, I think, if Garoppolo was... And McKinnon wouldn't have got hurt, too.
Yep. They've had a lot of injuries.
Moving on. The Green Bay Packers versus the Rams, Travis King.
I like the Los Angeles Rams in this game at home. To get 8-0 against Mr. Rogers and company. I don't know really what to say about it. I think LA is going to do what they do, and they're going to put up points. Jared Goff's going to outdo, probably going to make some people mad, that overrated quarterback in Green Bay. Yep, he's going to outdo him. And the Rams are going to come away with a win, barring some kind of miracle, which I don't see happening, especially in the Coliseum.
You couldn't see a miracle happening with Mr. Rogers playing quarterback?
No, not
He's been performing miracles all season.
Not against this team, nope. Shouldn't beat the 49ers, but that's 49ers. This is the Rams. Plus, this is away from home, too. But, yeah, I like LA. I'm going to go, 35-17, LA Rams.
I'm pretty sure Green Bay is a 10.5-point underdog in this game. Yep, biggest ever for Aaron Rodgers, and that's, in my opinion, that's a pretty big gap there. But I think it's going to be a shootout, and I like the Rams because they're at home. I think they're going to end up winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers gets a win. He's done crazy things all year on one leg, too, so what makes me think he won't do it this week? But I do think the Rams will win. Very high-scoring game. I say they win 38-24. Rams just have a ton of weapons, and the Packers just have Aaron Rodgers. Might as well just call the Packers the Green Bay Aaron Rodgers.
Devontae Adams, man. Top 10 receiver in the league.
He's good.
And they've got Clay Matthews. And they got that one guy on defense. Nobody wants to give credit to him. That Monday night game that made that interception that set up the game-winning drive.
But he has no defense. And he has a good running back if they'd ever start him, Aaron Jones, but have a committee backfield there, so have no running game essentially. And all of his receivers are hurt except for Devontae Adams. So Rodgers is doing the best he can with what he's got. I wish they would just let him sign with another team or trade him or something, get him out of that situation, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams too. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Green Bay Packers upset them. I don't think the Rams are playing as good as they should be. With all the talent they got, that defense has let me down this year. It's been pretty weak. And I know Travis is up here like I hate Aaron Rodgers, but I'm gonna go with the Rams. It's gonna be a high scoring game all around. Wouldn't surprise me if the over-under in this was 80.
Yeah. I really can see Aaron Rodgers going in there and getting the win.
Me too.
I'm picturing it right now.
Nah, no way. That defense is too good.
If he does, the media's going to go crazy.
The score flashing in my head right now is Rodgers drives down the field, wins at 35-31, but that's my heart talking. My brain's telling me pick the Rams, though, so that's why I'm going with the Rams.
Sunday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints versus the Minnesota Vikings. Great scheduled game.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody?
I'm pumped for this game. It's a really good Sunday Night Football game. The Saints probably had this game circled on the schedule ever since it came out. Going to get revenge for the Minneapolis Miracle last year in the playoffs. But I think lightning strikes twice here, and I'm picking the Vikings at home to win again. And the Saints won't get that revenge that they are so hoping for. It's going to be a shootout, man. I can't wait to see this. It's going to be some great quarterback play. A lot of points. But I like the Vikings in a close one. I'm going to say 38-35.
Yep. This is a heck of a Sunday night game. NFL done a great job here. And like they did last week with that blowout. This shouldn't be a blowout. This should be a really close game all the way through, I feel like, if it goes like I think it will. But despite the fact, the way they lost in the playoffs, and I'm sure they're wanting revenge, I do like the Vikings in this game too at home. I just think that environment, it's going to be crazy loud. I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints won. I ain't discounting them, of course, but I just can't picture Minnesota losing at home in a primetime game on a Sunday night. And it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Adam Thielen, he's going to keep his streak going of 100 yards. I'm going to go ahead and call this now. People are probably going to fall over. He's the best receiver in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
How can you not say it with the numbers he's putting up?
He's very consistent. I will give him that. But I don't think he's the best in the league. I still think that belongs to Antonio Brown.
Well, I think he's better than Brown. Brown, I'd say he's a better athlete, but I just think as far as skills-wise, I think Thielen's better.
Thielen's humble.
Yeah.
He don't go run his mouth or anything.
Yeah, I like Thielen a lot. Not to mention, they still got Stephon Diggs, who ain't no slouch by no means at all. Of course, he was the one after all that made the Minneapolis Miracle. That was a fluke. I mean, I don't see how anybody could say that was skill. I mean, I guess the catch was somewhat skill he made, but That was just very, very poor tackling by the Saints. Just horrible. Absolutely horrible.
That was one of the most exciting football games I think I've ever seen. I remember watching that. I lost my mind.
Drew Brees, he's going to put up points. I do think Minnesota's defense is a little overhyped and a little overrated, so I do think Saints can put up some points. But I just don't think it'll be enough. Their defense hasn't played well all year. And I like the Vikings. I'm going to go... Man, it's going to be close. I'm going to go 38-37 Vikings. Dan Bailey field goal as time expires.
I'm going to go with the Saints.
Mm.
Drew Brees, he's a stud. And that Vikings defense hasn't played good as expected, like they did last year. Dalvin Cook's been banged up. And the Saints defense, rushing defense is very exceptional. And the pass defense is a little suspect, but I just think Drew Brees is going to carry him to a win. That's all I got to say. It's going to be a very interesting Sunday night football game. I think it'll be like something like a 24-27. I'm going to go to New Orleans. Moving on to Monday night, the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. Travis.
Terrible game, just as far as from a competitive standpoint. New England's going to blow them out of the water. Despite the fact it's in Buffalo. Just not much to look forward to here. That's usually always the case. Usually one of the two is always good and one of the two is always bad, referring to the Sunday night and Monday night game. Last week, the Monday night game was good and the Sunday night game was bad, and this week it's going to be the opposite. But yeah, New England's it's going to be a beatdown. Buffalo's defense isn't terribly bad, but their offense, I just don't think it's going to be able to do anything, despite the fact I think New England's defense isn't that great. There's still just no way in the world. I don't say anybody could pick Buffalo. They'd have to be out of their mind if they did. I'm going to go with New England. Oh, Lord. 35-13.
Yeah, I'm picking the Patriots too. This ain't much of a game. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this game.
We'll be in Charlotte for Raw.
Oh, yeah, thank goodness.
Thank goodness, yeah, that's what I thought too.
Thank goodness I won't have to watch it. But, yeah, the only thing to look forward to in this game is the Bills Mafia, and if they will throw some questionable toys out on the field at Tom Brady like they did last season. You guys know what I'm talking about. Let's keep this PG for the little ones listening at home. But, yeah, Tom Brady's a bad man, and he's going to get the job done. The Bills are a sad, sad little team.
Terrible Monday night game. Don't give you anything to look forward to when you go start work on a Monday morning.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, Monday night football tonight, and then you hear Patriots and Bills, you're like, oh, I want to kill myself. Like, this is just pathetic. Like, if I was like the ESPN crew and I had to go sit out there and just talk about that game for a solid 3 hours.
It's going to be cold too in Buffalo too, by the way.
I just want to oh man, that's depressing.
These two teams also met on, I remember,
They
maybe
met
2 or 3 years ago on Monday Night Football, and it was in Foxborough too.
The Patriots always get a stupid game against the Dolphins or the
Bills or somebody on Monday night.
They always get a
Bad thing is they can't flex out the Monday night games neither. That's what's so bad about it.
Bogus game.
Monday night game should have been, let me think about this for a second.
I think Lions and Seahawks would have been a good one.
Yeah. They did play on Monday Night Football game
Seattle.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chancellor punched the ball out on Calvin Johnson.
I do remember that. You're right.
The touchback thing.
Calvin Johnson was there 4 years ago?
Yeah.
That's hard to believe. Seems like he's been gone forever.
The Monday night game, Ravens-Panthers.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. Good choice.
Packers-Rams.
Oh, yeah.
That would have got a lot of viewers. Aaron Rodgers versus the stacked Los Angeles Rams team.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I'm looking at the list right now.
Any key matchups here in the next few
Jets and Bears might have been decent.
Yes, Nick Bell. I want y'all to, one of y'all pull up the Saints schedule. They have a brutal, brutal, brutal schedule the rest of the season. I looked at it. They don't have one easy game the rest of the way. The only one that's
I'm pulling it up right now.
even somewhat easy is in Dallas, but that's no, lock. I mean, it's right there it is. You got the Vikings this week. You got the Rams next week, in Cincinnati the following week, at home against the Eagles, at home against the Falcons. They go to Dallas, they go to Tampa, they go to Carolina, at home against the Steelers, and at home against the Panthers. I can't think of a harder schedule.
That's
That
crazy.
is tough.
Next week, Packers-Patriots Sunday Night Football.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait to talk about that game. Me and Travis King will have a lot to say.
The Titans and Cowboys are Monday night.
Oh.
That ain't much of a Monday night game.
Seems like they have one strong game in 1 week. The Steelers and Ravens play at 1 o'clock.
Wow.
And NFL.
That should have been the Monday night game.
Well, that's already been on primetime once this year.
Sunday night game when we were coming back from Nashville.
Raiders and Niners on Thursday night, guys.
Phew.
Big game.
Well,
Cowboys Eagles in 2 weeks on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be good.
And the Giants and Niners on Monday night.
oh, Lord. Oh, that's going to be
terrible.
worse than this
Yeah,
game.
the Monday night games. But it's all right. Week 11, the Monday night game makes up for it.
Chiefs and Raiders in Mexico City.
Yeah, and Steelers and Jaguars play Sunday night.
Yeah, there's some good matchups going forward. Like I said before, this NFL season has been the most competitive I can remember. There's so many good teams, so many balanced teams. It's going to be fun to watch. But that's all for this week. We're signing off. I'm Brad Freakin Nolen.
Travis Keene.
Nick Bell.
We are out. Deuces.